I'm going to attempt to give some data for the density column lab that we do in class. For those of you who are at home and cannot be with us. So the basic idea is I have 6 colored solutions. I have a red, we have an orange, we have yellow, green, blue, and this last one was supposed to be purple. It didn't end up being purple. It's kind of a, I don't know, dusty rose color, but in a bottle like this it almost looks brown, so we'll just call it brown. Okay, 6 solutions. And the idea is that we're going to do some individual little tests to see which solution is more dense and which solution is less dense. So we do them one at a time. I'll start out by putting some red in here, and I'm going to put some orange in this one. I'm going to put a little piece of plastic across the top of this, and the cohesive and adhesive properties of water are such that it actually stays in there even without me putting a finger on the end. And then I pull this off the end, and you can observe what happened. So remember, that was, I put orange on top of red. And you think about, they mix together, so which one must have been more dense? If I had put the less dense one on top of the more dense one, you would think it would have just stayed there. So because they mixed, it tells you something about orange versus red. Now we'll move on to the next test. Pour this one out. Okay. So next, I'm going to try red versus yellow. We'll tip yellow over. Yellow is going on top of red. We'll pull out our film and see what happens. Okay. So you make your observation, and then from that you can tell between yellow and red which one was more dense. Alright, going down the line, we're going to try red versus green. Oop, need the other test tube. I do have more green I'll have to get. Okay, green's going on top of red. Make your observation. Red blue, Blue is going on top of red. And we make an observation. Red. With this lovely color that did not turn out to be purple. Again, we'll call it brown. It's not really brown either, but I don't know what name to call it. Now these two colors are a little bit more similar, so we're going to have to look really close, I think. And you hopefully saw that there was a lot of turbulence in here, sign of mixing, and they're going to a more uniform color. So I've tested red with all of the other colors, so I'm going to set that one aside. I don't need to test red with anything else because I've got all of it. So now I'm going to start with orange. And we'll do orange and yellow. Now these two also are very, very, very similar in color. So you're going to have to look really close. Okay, so this is yellow. I know the colors are very similar, but this is the one I'm calling yellow. It's going on top of the orange. And since the colors are so similar, we're going to have to really look for that turbulence in there. That was really hard to tell. I would say I didn't notice really anything happening. There was a bubble that went, but that doesn't count as mixing. So that is a hard one to see on the camera. From my perspective, I didn't see anything happening. If nothing happens, then you got to think, well, what does that mean? Which one's more dense? The more dense always wants to be on the bottom. Less dense wants to be on the top. Let's take orange and green. Should be a little easier to see. I have to get a little more of that for my next test. Orange and green. Put them together. Green's on top of orange. Alright, that's a real clear result. Nothing seems to be happening. The green just sits there on top of the orange. Alright, we'll do orange and blue. I don't know why I picked up the blue first this time, but that's alright. The blue will go on the bottom. The orange will go on top. Orange on top of blue. Your observation. Remember, the more dense always wants to be on the bottom. So we got orange and brown. Brown's going to go on top. Brown on top of orange. Make your observation. Alright, I have tested orange with everything, so I'm going to set orange aside. And excuse me just a second, I'm going to grab some more green. Alright, so we're going to do yellow and green. I'm going to do yellow with all the rest of the colors, but I just happen to pick up the green first. So green's going in there. Yellow is going here. And yellow on top of green. Looks to me like the yellow stays on top of green. What does that mean about density? Which one has to be less dense? Alright, we'll do yellow with blue. I'm putting blue on top of yellow. Gee, remember the old expression about yellow and blue make green? I think we just witnessed that. Okay, how about brown? And yellow. That'll be the last test involving yellow. Alright. Yellow's on top of the brown. Make your observation. We've got 3 more tests to do, and we will have covered all the possibilities. So I'm going to put green. And blue. Alright, there's the green and blue. Let's do brown. And green. And we got one last combination. Let's do brown. And blue. And here we go. Alright, that was the last color combination for us to do. So, what you need to do is make sure that you have data written down. It should be all in your data table. What color went on top, what color went on bottom, did they mix or not? And then you are to go through and try to determine which color is in each set more dense. Then try to put the whole list together and rank them from most dense to least dense. There was a second part to our lab where we then tried to make a layered column. I'm not going to show that right now because I want you to try to figure out the order first based on your information. So we might do a follow-up with that, but for right now, do the lab with what you have here and try to determine the order. Thanks for watching.